what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Gaming Rewind. I just got back from work. I'm actually trying a little something different today. Obviously, you can probably tell just from the camera alone, just looking at the picture, you can probably tell something's a little different. So I picked up a webcam here, and the reason why I picked up the webcam is I wanted to be able to make videos a little bit quicker and make videos where I'm not just constantly editing myself and doing like reviews and equipment reviews and stuff like that, where I'm like literally editing out like all my ums and all my little imperfections and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to just start making videos where there's less of that going on, there's less of a wall or something going on between me and you guys. So I just kind of want to make it a little bit more, I don't know, here we are, we're just kind of hanging out, that sort of thing. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, and that I've been asked about, is, why were you gone for like 8 months? Like, why didn't you make a video for the longest time? And, there's a couple different reasons for that. We started doing work in our apartment, and basically this room that I record in, I think I've said this in another video, it's kind of our utility room. So lots of stuff happens in here, and when we're doing work in another room, all that shit gets moved into this room. So that happened a couple times. But that wasn't it. I mean, I also picked up a PS4. I started playing a ton of PS4 games, especially Dark Souls 2. I got the Scholar of the First Sin edition, and holy shit, I mean, that game just owned my life for God, I don't even know how long, months and months and months. I was playing that game like a completionist. I was like, I was trying to get all the trophies. I was trying to beat all the games and all the game and all the DLC. And I got through pretty much all of it. I think I got to the last deal. I can't even think of the DLC name now, the last one. And I was just sort of like, I'm killing all these ice horse things. You guys probably know what I'm talking about if you play the game. And I got to the part where basically they stopped respawning. I just kept like going and killing them, going and re-killing them, and playing that over again until they would not respawn anymore. And I just sort of stopped playing it just because it was too much. Even though it was already too late, I'd already spent months and months and months playing the game. It was just sort of like I got to the end of this last piece of DLC, and I'm just like, I don't really need to finish it anymore. So I just kind of moved on, and it was stopping me from playing so many other games. I mean, my backlog just got bigger and bigger and bigger while I was playing that game. So, and it's not like I stopped buying games or like, it's not like I wasn't collecting during that period. It was ridiculous. It was completely ridiculous. So I had to move on with my life. So that's why I stopped playing Dark Souls 2. But actually, most importantly, probably the biggest reason is, honestly, I was just not, like, I like to play games, I really enjoy playing games. And for some reason, I just got this thing in my head where it was like I was coming home making videos and it became work. So, I don't know, it just sort of like put me off for a little while, just trying to like, I'd get home from work at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and then you have to make dinner, and you have to do chores and stuff like that. So I wouldn't even like get in front of the microphone and camera or whatever, or the game console to record footage until like 9. And I would do my best. I would, either, play a game with, recording footage, or I would try to write something, or I would try to do something, from like 9 to 12. And from like 10:30, it would just like my energy levels just dropped like so hard, and it got really difficult for me. So I pretty much just kind of stopped, because I was already, the way I was sort of like justifying it in my head is that I was already sort of in the game scene, because what I was doing in the meantime is I was actually kind of joining this band of brothers, if you will, and sisters, of developing basically North Jersey's first retro video game con. And I couldn't believe nothing like this had existed before, but sure enough, it didn't. My buddy Paul ran a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter was successful. This is last year, and we had our first video game con in New Jersey last year, and it was fucking awesome. It was super successful. Had some really cool YouTube guests there. All the vendors made a ton of money. Like, everybody sold all of their shit. We had free play rooms for arcade, console. Basically, if you've ever been to like Too Many Games or another, retro game con in your area, then you pretty much know what I'm talking about. You've probably seen, you've seen exactly what I'm talking about. So it was just an awesome, awesome time. And you know, since I was involved with the group that actually put it together, we were immediately talking about year two, and that's really what we've been working on. You know, just basically trying to make it bigger and better this year, and we are on track to crush our goals for this year, and just have an amazing convention. So we are. We've got some awesome guests. You know, again, we're going to be in the same location, so we're going to have about 36,000 square feet of just games. About a third of that is going to be dedicated to vendors, and the rest of it, it's all going to be like events. So like, you know, tournaments, console and arcade free play, cosplay, panels. Speaking of panels, I mean, the guests that we have this year are awesome. We got, you know, Pat the NES Punk, Adam Koralik. We got Rich from Review Tech USA. We've got the Console War guys. I know I'm going to forget some people here. But yeah, I mean, just the lineup that we have is awesome. And I would definitely recommend going to a videogame.com just to see who actually is, who's going to be on the guest list. I'll put it down in the description just because I can't remember. Like, I can't remember everybody. So that's pretty much kind of, you know, that's really what I've been doing for these last 8 months. So it's not like I was completely out of the gaming scene. I was still doing stuff. It was just all, you know, off camera, basically. But now I'm trying to sort of like rededicate myself to making videos and trying to make it easier. That's why, like, I'm doing this kind of video here to. I'm hoping that I can start making a video like this a little bit more often, and you know, kind of play with the format a little bit, because this is my first video doing this here. So I don't know. Hopefully, I'm not talking too much. It's funny, you know. I kind of feel like I talk too much. I'm usually a pretty quiet guy, but when I start talking about stuff that I want to talk about, I can just sort of like ramble on and on and on and stop making sense at some point. So hopefully that's not happening. But anyway, so another thing I want to talk about. So I got some cool stuff recently. I'm only going to show two things. One of them here, I just got this in the mail like 2 days ago or something like that. Really kind of psyched to try this out. I might actually make a video for this. It's the where is it here? Yeah, the 3D Classics collection for the 3DS. Super pumped to try this out. I used to love Power Drift in the arcade, and that was an awesome game. So the fact that this has Galaxy Force 2, Power Drift, and Thunderblade, I mean, that's already like awesome in 3D. That's going to be really cool. But then to have Altered Beast and Sonic the Hedgehog, that's just kind of like icing on the cake. And then there's one of the Puyo Puyo games, and then Fantasy Zone 2, which is just badass. So I'm definitely pumped to try this game out. You know, it's not a very expensive game. It's not like, you know, I don't know, it's not like this huge addition to my collection, but I'm pumped to try it. Now, this next thing that I want to show you guys here, this is one of my favorite movies. And whenever I talk to anybody about it, no one's ever heard of it. Every single time, except my friends who I was obsessed showing this movie to in like the mid to late 90s, because I had a VHS copy, and I was like, dude, we have to watch this movie. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's one of my favorite comedies. It's kind of super local, so I don't know if it's just funny to like people in the Northeast. Because like I said, nobody else I know has actually seen this movie, so it's not like I've talked to somebody from like Florida or North Carolina or California and be like, hey, what did you think about this movie? Nobody's ever freaking heard of this thing, but the cast is unbelievable. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and it's called The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy. I had a VHS recording of this. I rented it one day, like just on a whim, because I worked at a video store, and I brought it home. It was, I mean, I was dying laughing. And obviously I made a recording of it, and then I was looking for it on DVD for years. I mean, for years I was waiting for this to come out on DVD. It never showed up. I never actually found like another even VHS copy of it. So I basically just kind of gave up. But finally, so since I gave up, it's been released on DVD, and now it's even on Blu-ray, obviously, because now I have the Blu-ray. I just showed it to you. So needless to say, I got into this conversation on Facebook with some of my friends, and I was like, dude, this movie's freaking awesome. I got to go see if it's out there somewhere. And I was like looking to download it somewhere. I didn't even think to look at Amazon, just because, you know, it wasn't available. So I didn't even think to look there. So sure enough, since I couldn't find the download, I eventually made my way to Amazon, Sure enough, it's right there. Like the DVD was like $9 or something like that. So I was like, done. So I got myself the Blu-ray of The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy. If you can find this movie, I highly recommend watching this movie because it is damn funny. I mean, the cast is ridiculous. You got Jennifer Beals, Steve Buscemi, Samuel Jackson, John Turturro, Nick Turturro, Sam Rockwell, Michael Badalucco. Like, some of those names you don't know who they are, but like when you see the faces, you know exactly who they are. Just awesome. Just really pumped to actually have this. So at some point I'm gonna watch this, but I think tonight I might watch Aliens just because I think the 30th anniversary was yesterday. So I'm getting my days mixed up. My week has been going by so crazy fast, but yeah. So anyway, guys, that's this video. I hope it's good. I hope I can keep making videos like this if it's interesting. I don't even know if you guys are going to find this interesting at all. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what kind of stuff you would want to see in this format. You know, maybe I can do like a Q&A or something like that one of these days. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.